using. I hate lol because that's a vocalization to express a text shorthand for an unheard vocalization. It is just so annoying to me. It is one of those signs of you were born in the year 2000. I hope your parents die.
Well, I think the word lol does have a purpose.
It's a text. It's a vocalization of a text reference of a sound that you could just make. It is so many ways removed from it.
Well, David...
It's like rather than going left, you take 3 rights.
David Mitchell did one of his online rants about lol, and he was saying that in written text it makes sense because there's nothing else that really does the same job as lol.
No, written that's fine.
And if you type something like ha 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 or that was amusing, then it just sounds insincere. Now,
you opened the door.
So by walking in slightly the wrong way through the door, I triggered the monk's security system again.
I love the way they zone in on you. It's just fun to watch.
Fortunately, they forget all about you the moment you're out the door.
Kind of weird brown Daleks just hovering at you. But no, that's my point. It's like lol written. That's its purpose. Someone going lol says I want to punch you in the face.
Now we're collecting this cup because the Father Superior we ran into in the room to the right has told us to go and fetch a cup of something called Chickapog. Now I don't really know what that is.
It's 2031's most popular breakfast cereal.
We don't really know what Chickapog is, so we're just going to get a cup and fill it with wine from the cellar that we glimpsed earlier in the second door. The monks were all very diligent about slamming the doors shut when they walked past them.
If there's one thing they hate, it's spies and, letting drafts in.
What asshole left this open? Were you born in a barn?
Who forgets to turn the candles out when they leave the room? These things aren't infinite, I have to buy these.
Remember the last Let's Play we were talking about how in text-driven games you actually had to think of the action, the specific action you had to do?
Hugo was really strict about that too.
And now we have the all-purpose verb operate, which is for everything. In this case, banging on barrels to see if they're full.
I think there's a few, I think Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis has a lot of verbs. It's like you got push and pull, but the puzzle solving in that kind of lends itself to it.
Yeah, Monkey Island 1 had crazy amounts of verbs.
Yeah.
They had open and close were separate verbs. Push and pull were separate verbs.
Which, I think it's fair when you've got that volume of stuff to do, but so many games will have push that you just never use it.
Then it was games like this.
This is wine, not Chickapog.
Then it was games like, say, Discworld 2 that was left click to use, right click to look. Yeah, monks can't really stomach the wine they brew themselves.
This is to get the heathen outsiders drunk. I can't. Operate Father Superior.
Oh yeah, I remembered you had to examine him to search his corpse.
Ooh, an infrared remote control device. I've heard of those, Yahtzee. They're going to control our awesome color televisions in the future of 1991.
Something awfully suspicious about these monks.
Yeah.
Why did they have... That's a reference to a previous game Delphine made that nobody knows or cares about. So the reference was kind of lost.
Poor Delphi.
Well, they got quids in 2 years after this. Do you know Flashback for a while held the Guinness World Record for best-selling French game?
Huh.
Which,
I'm trying to think of another French game that isn't undone by Delphi.
There aren't many, no.
It's like me winning an award for best Gabriel Morton.
Little Big Adventure was French.
Huh.
If you've ever played that.
No, I haven't yet. I've heard about it.
So now we have the electronic control device, and we have unveiled the secret of the monks. That they are secretly modern technology things. Oh shit! We operated the wrong bit of wall.
So if you try and operate the wall, they go, infidel!
Nah, we just accidentally walked a step to the left. Now, tell me this doesn't make sense. Oh, we found a secret passage in a barrel.
Perfectly logical. I was surprised he didn't do that straight away.
You found her. You are the hero of the tales.
Yeah!
You have saved the princess. And again, we're reusing a backdrop because we're fucking lazy.
Yeah.
Now, there's another case of a small item that if we didn't take if we didn't take it, we'd be fucked over some time from now.
I don't think extreme's the right adjective for beautiful,
Yeah, it's like saying excruciatingly beautiful. That doesn't sound right.
Your beauty hurts me. That sounds... I already know that someone's used that in a poem.
Your beauty hurts me.
Yeah. You're excruciatingly beautiful. It hurts like the little razor cuts I put on myself at night.
Crawling in my skin. Okay, now, in the same way I interpret the main character as being a Down syndrome victim, I interpret this female character as being some kind of robot. Because if you look
Tell
at her
me that's her
dialogue,
tits jabbing
that
out
is
like
indeed my father's medallion, so I can trust you.
Begun phase 2.
This will
Those
like,
are her tits. That's hilarious.
this will be a recurring thing. She has literally no personality besides advancing the plot.
So she's Phi from 1989.
I don't even know.
That's a little robot sword from Skyward Sword
Oh right.
that they
Oh yes, Fee.
pretended was pretended was going to have a character at the beginning and then gave up on.
Yeah, I always pronounced that as Fee because I
Phi.
assumed it was short for Fiona or something.
Yeah.
Now that old man spent that entire time walking in circles, waiting for our return.
I do that.
And who the hell enlists random strangers who showed up with your daughter's lost property to then be the awesome hero to rescue her?
I mean, your first thought would be, you kidnapped my fucking daughter.
How much do you want? What?
Yeah, I'll kill you. Tell me where she is. That's probably the first thing I'd do. It's like, hey, you've got my daughter's pendant. I'm going to murder you until you tell me where she is.
But even if you didn't, you'd assume it was just some peasant showed up with the medallion, and then you'd enlist your best knight to go and
Yeah.
go and find her or something.
Okay, knight, take the medallion from this simple human being and go solve the problem.
But then there doesn't seem to be anyone else in this castle. And there may be a reason for that, as we will now learn.
Oh, so that's an actual
Yes,
thing that will be discovered.
This is a lengthy plot advancement section.
Sweet.
Yes! Old man and daughter are not the real original old man and daughter. They are visitors from the future, taking their place.
This is turning into a Doctor Who episode. One of the lazy Tom Baker
For
ones.
your era! I'm just quoting that little box there in the way I presume it was supposed to be pronounced.
Triangle! Agents of Triangle.
Oh, here's another recurring joke we'll be hearing a lot.
Oh, he's gonna...
The evil aliens are called Krugons, but everyone calls them Croutons because it's a French game. Let's all laugh like Frenchmen.
this is...
You know what gets me is that, whatever his name is and his daughter have obviously been, somehow science fictionally made up to look like the originals, but they will look like that for the rest of the game. So was it just coincidence these people happen to look exactly the same? Or did they just not drop the disguise at any point? Because they figure you might be startled.
Well, it looks... Maybe it suits them. Maybe you go back in time and quantum leap your way into another body and you're like, oh,
Maybe
I say.
that's what everyone does in the future. They just like to mix up their appearance every now and again.
Every time you black out, it's one from the future just having, piloting you around.
Yeah, if you're not reading this dialogue, basically they're
I'm
saying aliens have insidious plans. They've gone back in time to mess up human history.
Psycho-hypnotic.
They're at war with them in the future. The aliens have gone back in time to mess up in the past. It's the Terminator plot.
Exactly Terminator, but with retards.
And you are also out of place in the past, so they're going to take you back to the future to figure out what's to be done with you.
Rock and roll.
You can take your monk's habit. You can take your hood down now, mate. You're not Anakin fucking Skywalker.
Ruiner of things.
I was thinking about speeding up this video by maybe a factor of 2, because everyone walks in the most stupidly slow speed.
Again, I think that's misrepresenting the game as being better than it is.
Fair enough. That's a hat. That's a hat. We're wearing a hat before you say anything.
Okay, I won't say anything about the hat.
Although, to be honest, I'm slightly more worried about what's going on around his crotch area.
Yeah.
That is even for that resolution, that is a ridiculously well-defined crotch.
Look at it. Look at it.
So now we're in the alien war-torn future from which our new friends originated. But,
Looks pretty war-torn.
But we've accidentally been teleported to different locations.
Your time helmet must have been slightly off.
Your magic tinfoil hat you got there.
I haven't calibrated it because there was pizza cheese on it somewhere.
Now, I knew for a fact that some of this random rubble is like an item you have to take, and if you don't, you fuck up and can't continue after a while.
Fantastic.
Yep. The thing about this adventure game is it's a very linear one. It's not like Monkey Island where you go around the same island for the first half of the game. You just go from location to location to location. That's like 3 or 4 rooms apiece.
Not inherently a bad thing, I'd say.
I guess not. But it is if there's no way to go back to a room that contains a vital object.
That's a huge issue, yeah. Letting you
We found a
Neat
blowtorch.
stuff like that. Awesome.
Yes.
And you can jam it into people and turn it on.
It's a future blowtorch. Now we
Uses
can
ice somehow.
Now we can weld stuff in the future, and that's a good thing because there's a lot of shit that looks like it needs a bit of welding by the looks of it.
Yeah, that helmet. Makes me look like a dildo.
Yeah, and look, he's got a magnificently shapely butt as well.
You can tell this game's French.
You can
All the
see
groin
his-
and ass definition.
You can see the crack. That jumpsuit probably goes right up.
It's like a still suit. It burrows up inside to process all your waste.
It must be clinging like a Zentai suit or something.
I think it burrows up there.
And another item that we have to take or will fail later on, but it's
Like a million tiny little fingers worming their way inside you.
please don't talk about such things in that tone of voice.
Manhole!
Yep, this is where we need to go. We're not going to advance through the ruins or anything. We'll find an entrance to the sewer and just think, that's the path for me!
Hells yeah. Are there sewer mutants?
Funny you should say that.
There aren't.
Well, actually there are.
Oh.
But we won't see them until we've walked a completely linear path for about 6 or 7 rooms.
Are there any items in the rooms?
There is one.
Yeah. Well, at least I thought enough to do that.
Yep. But if you forgot something, like say the item you need to solve the puzzle, like soon enough, then you have to walk all the way back to the manhole and to the ruined landscape to go pick it up. And you have to fill the blowtorch up with gas at this tab. That was a tap, by the way. That Lego brick in the background there.
I didn't even think that was gas. I thought tap. Oh yeah, that's where water comes from.
It's quite paradoxical the way some backgrounds are really elaborate and amazing, and other times they just copy paste 3 bits of wall to make a sewer.
I mean, I'd put more effort into the items you have to actually do stuff with.
Although, in all fairness, Eric Chahi apparently was the only artist on this game.
Fair enough then.
Another case of 3 dudes and an usually large marketing department.
Eric Shaw, he's sitting alone with pixels, just assembling them lovingly.
Oh, things are hotting up. There's the mutant you wanted so much.
Ah!
Yeah, you can leave and go all the way back to the wasteland.
And nothing happens.
And you can come straight back and everything's exactly the same. So it's almost like the mutant is just trying to do a little jazz hands routine for the girl and then completely misinterpreting it.
What do you girls think? I'm going to be doing it at the Rockestead later, and
Rest assured, if you had walked closer, he would have killed you instantly.
The muta octopus smelled our scent.
There's that
That's
joke
getting
again.
really...
That's the second time. Do you know where we are and how to find a way out?
Paris 4.
Paris the 4th, yeah, not happening in France. And if you interpret this dialogue in the poem the way it's supposed to be interpreted, these people have just manifested a ladder through their mental powers
Are you what?
that they have in the future.
This does feel like several children's BBC shows from this area, you know what I mean? Like it's
What,
like a
like the-
combination between Tripods and Chucky and...
Like the Tomorrow People.
Yeah, and the Tomorrow People. I loved the Tomorrow People when I was a little kid. I used to be on at 6 in the morning.
Hey, we're still carrying that lance from medieval times. I hope that lance was not going to be used at some point to, like, change history.
Yeah, that was an important lance, dude. You don't just go around taking lances from the past. Didn't you see The Butterfly Effect, that horrible movie?
And we're now in a subway station full of boring text.
Martial law.
Yep. This subway station kind of reminds me of the subway from Flashback.
Yeah. That was a good game.
It certainly was.
This isn't.
No. Well, Delphine Software made...
Oh, wow, you found €1.
They made 3 point-and-click adventure games with this interface. This was, I think, the first. The other 2 were called Operation Stealth, also known as James Bond: The Stealth Affair in America. And the other one was called Cruise for a Corpse.
I want to play that.
I have played Operation Stealth. I haven't played Cruise for a Corpse.
Cruise for a corpse.
Now, this is obnoxious. You have to take the coin out of the coin slot twice and put it in the slot before you'll get the newspaper. And if you don't have the newspaper, guess what? You'll end up in a situation later on that you can't escape from.
That's...
Now there's nothing to do
not
now.
engendering a lot of positive thoughts here, Delphin.
There's nothing to do now but wait for the train. So let's
I thought that was...
Practice walking, because we're going to need a fucking lot of practice.
So that's a platform, like that wall behind you is actually...
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
God, I didn't even
see?
notice that.
Now, that's what I call a tilt train. Boom, boom.
It's tilted the wrong way. That's not how aerodynamics works.
Yeah, that train's just going to, like, fall forwards.
I'm just gonna make it dead flat and grind against the wind.
That train's had a few drinks. I'm alright,
I'm good.
Come on, get on board. I've only got 2 cars for some reason.
I'll take you home.
Well, it's a dystopian future.
Off to dystopian suburbia.
Now we're at the airport.
Oh, floating arrows, that's exactly.
This one room is the airport. This is the entire airport. And, you know, props to Eric Chahi for all his career, but look at the character art of the guy on the right. It's you! They copy-paste your... And you may not remember, but the 3 guys who got killed by the aliens in the intro sequence, they were you as well.
Yeah. Just take the helmet off, please.
They made one walk cycle. Now, what we're trying to do here is sneak past airport security. And the way to do that in the future, in a time of war, I would remind you, is distract the 2 minimum wage employees who are guarding the door.
I'd imagine that works somewhat like Idiocracy. You just go, there's a bunch of naked bitches in the hall, and they run away.
Yeah. So replacing the defective fuse in that fuse box
Oh, that's the way of fucking things up. Is
turns the TV on, and apparently the reception's so bad that the guy guarding the door had to walk all the way up to it to watch it.
That's great.
So you still can't actually walk up the stairs until the receptionist starts doing her makeup.
Oh, the music's nice.
They don't ask for your boarding pass, just walk right in. And now we're going to Paris 4.
Awesome.
It took them 4 tries to get it right.
You should have seen Paris 3, man. That place was a dump.
You know, if I was flying some kind of future plane, I'd want to know there wasn't a massive jagged hole in the fuselage.
Paris 4 from Britain 3.
Apparently he's got vertical takeoff, though. It's the future!
Again, it's flying.